There an epilogue? Saturday.
Wait, I thought... Weren't we on Sunday?
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
I've lost track at this point. Yeah, Mom. I promise I'll call you in an hour. No, I'm not. No, we're not staying the night. I promise. Wow, Mom.
Wow.
All right, I swear. Love you too. Bye.
I should have just done the mom's voice and be like... Yeah, Mom.
That's what she sounds like in person.
It's like the
Peanuts.
the Peanuts joke, but then I think it was Family Guy or whatever that had it where they scrolled over and they showed the adults and the adults just talk like that.
Yeah. I hang up and drop my paw into my lap, sighing loudly. Kudzu laughs.
Everything okay?
I rub my eyes. Yeah, I guess. She's just worried, obviously. Kudzu reaches over and sets his paw on my knee, squeezing briefly before returning it to the steering wheel.
I can still turn back, you know.
I take in another breath and hold it. Are we going back to Echo?
I would never go back there.
Like a year later, maybe, or something? It's tempting. It might even be a better idea to just let the past die. But now that I'm leaving the area for good, I want to see it one more time. The town, and Leo. I let the breath out. Nah, I need to do this. I've thought about it for so damn long, there's no way I'd forgive myself for backing out now. I need closure.
Alright. But if he gets weird at all, I'm taking you the hell out of there.
He won't. He's back to normal. As much as any of us can be, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But I told him it's only going to be for a little bit. That we're just driving through. I look over at him. You want to stay in the car?
Was planning to. Unless you're planning on going inside.
No, I'll stay outside.
Alright. But I'll be watching in case you two try anything.
Surprised they don't meet at the diner again. Chase, come in. I made microwave.
I made TV dinners.
Yeah, right. It's been 2 years.
Yes, I think it was Sunday, or it was already Saturday or Sunday when we ended the last time. So this is the future.
Yeah, I think we'd passed midnight an eternity ago, because that was just an incredibly long day.
Mm-hmm.
That might have been the same day we went off the trail and saw. Yeah, I think that was the same day where we saw Clint being hung from a tree, when we like slightly separated from Kudzu.
No, I feel like another day had passed, but I always forget when those little intermissions happen. I feel like it had passed since then.
It's hard to remember.
Because I remember thinking like, oh, the last card, like the last day came up. I remember thinking that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'm just like
a month ago at this rate.
That's not very long.
Hey, I know Leo. He's not the person we last saw.
Yeah, I know.
I was gonna say, you were his neighbor. I feel my stomach tighten as I suddenly realize we're driving past the lake, then onto Main Street. It's completely abandoned, but then we pass the motel. The windows are all boarded up, and the parking lot is filled with more cracks than I remember. But I'm hit with a wave of familiarity all the same. Standing in the parking lot are two people. Pointing at the motel is a large black bear, and in front of him stands a canine of some kind, with a video camera. Arches? Kudzu snorts but doesn't say anything. I feel a spark of anger at them, for probably seeing the whole thing as a morbidly fun adventure.
Being tourists.
Not even having the slightest idea of what sort of hell the town went through. It's funny knowing about the extended universe, but not knowing about the extended universe.
Mm-hmm.
I know that they exist, and that the characters exist. But that's it. But Arches, the sequel to Echo, I think it's a coyote and a bear.
Okay.
And it's
Then yeah, maybe.
It's got a different artist, but I think it's also written by Howley or something. He's finishing up Arches this year, actually. It's going to be finally one of these games is going to be done besides Echo and Ad Astra. And then he's going to go back to finishing Interia and Chemia, the sequels to Ad Astra. So we have a sequel to Echo that's probably going to be done before we finish Echo at the rate we're going at. I'm guessing that's who that is. There's little hints. It makes me wonder how much they already plan ahead for things, because like the protagonist of the sequel to Ad Astra and a few other characters from that story are established in the university scene in Ad Astra. There's like a maned wolf and a wolverine, and I'm like, those characters, I know what they look like. I don't know what they do, and I don't even know what one of their names is, but I know they exist. Not even having the slightest idea of what sort of hell the town went through. And then I remember that I'd done the same thing. Granted, it was many more years removed, but still the same. We turn onto Leo Street, and my stomach tightens further. Kudzu glances at me.
Oh, yay! Wait, no. I gotta read it, Keith.
I flinched.
Can I get a kiss before you talk to your ex?
Eyes on the road. Kudzu leans over, very deliberately keeping his eyes on the road as he tries to turn his face towards me. I give him a quick peck on the side of his muzzle, and he laughs. I try to laugh as well, but it gets caught in my throat as I see that old house. And there, waiting in the driveway, is Leo. Hey, how's it going? Leo cheerfully greets me as I open my door.
I don't think this is a good idea. It just seems like it's like torturous.
It's rough, but it's also like he's committing to the thing that is also what we chose earlier, which is to actually end things and move on correctly.
Yeah, I understand that, right? But we definitely, although it was rushed and not done particularly well, we definitely ended things back then when we did so. That was pretty much a solid, like, over, we're done.
It was just the weirdness
it was
the
weird
ambiguity
timing.
of like who we were talking to and what he understood.
But the other problem is that it's been 2 years, right? At this point, Leo knows that we're done. Like, he should know that we're done because it's been 2 years and we are like,
and he's still here.
It's not as if we had a little tiff in front of the train and then we ran back to him or anything. It's been a solid 2 years. Like we left. So this just seems mean to him.
I think it was 3 years the first time.
Yeah, but that time we hadn't told him that we were ending it. So he had like some weird hope left. This time we said, like in a solid sentence, like we are ending this. And then we wait 2 years and then we show up at his house. And I feel like like that's just very mean. I don't know. There's a few people in my life who I would not reach out to talk to because I feel like it would be mean to them to do so.
Yeah.
I have some Leos out there that I won't go talk to because I know they still think about me because I'm amazing.
You've talked before with us. There's like one person in particular that just like from an incredibly long time ago just would like started calling or something out of nowhere.
Yeah. Dated him very, very briefly in high school. Like very briefly. And every couple of years, he finds me again and asks if I'm single.
It's a distressing way to phrase it, too.
And I went out of my way to be very mean to him a couple times because I was like, no, stop. But he still fucking does it. So it's at the point now where it's like either he really likes that I'm really mean to him, or he's just so immensely desperate. He's one of the people on my list where if they showed up at my workplace, I would have to like hide and perhaps work somewhere else. I have like a little list of these people. They can't know where I work.
It's distressing that there's a list.
Yeah, I have a charm, okay? I ruin lives. It's like one of my many talents.
Being a woman sounds terrifying.
Yeah.
I don't. No.
I don't recommend it.
2 stars at best.
Yeah.
It catches me off guard a little bit, his mood being so different from mine. Hey, Leo. What's up? Leo has his paws shoved in his pockets, but still manages to shrug. Not much. You? Not much. Leo ducks his head and looks in at Kudzu. Hey, Kud. You alright? Kudzu awkwardly answers from behind me.
Yeah, I'm okay.
There's a moment of silence as I try to think of what to say or do. I hadn't expected Leo to just meet me outside. Did you want to come in for a beer or something?
Oh, I'm actually driving for the next couple hours.
Yeah, we were just stopping by for a minute. Ah, okay.
His bracelet's gone.
It is gone. That is significant that his bracelet's gone.
That is very significant.
Leo's smile falters a little bit. Then he shrugs again. Wanna go for a walk then? Stretch your legs? I look back at Kudzu, but he doesn't say anything. Doesn't give me a hint as to what he's thinking. He's leaving the decision up to me. Yeah, sure. Leo ducks his head again. You want to come, Kud? Kudzu hesitates, then shakes his head.
Nah, you two go ahead. I prefer the AC.
Alright, cool. Feeling just a little tension between the two of them, I quickly jump out and shut my door. I look over at the rail yard, which is in full view of the car, and point. Wanna walk over there? Sure. Where they had their first kiss. So, you've been hanging out here for the past 2 years? A little bit. Spent a lot of time with my parents. I'm moving back in with them right now, actually. Oh yeah? Yeah, it sucks, but honestly, I can't stand all the vultures scavenging around for stories here. Sounds like it. But at least you'll be around other people, right? Yeah, it's officially a ghost town now, if you haven't noticed. The fact that he still kept living here for 2 years is an actual nightmare.
That is
horrifying. When it got
horrifying.
so much worse.
Well, because not only did he have to suffer through like the initial echo incident that involved everyone,
Yeah.
but he had to suffer through everyone in the whole world trying to figure out what happened and just digging through the town and people
Yeah.
moving and people being upset and just looking at the aftermath of everything. It's like the night after a very, very intense party where you look at all the red Solo cups everywhere and the mess and you're like, man, I wasn't here. I wish I had left last night like everybody else did.
And they're all poking at your trauma for stories.
Exactly. That is just like that. Yeah. So
Yeah, that's what parties are like if you don't leave.
I feel like I feel bad for Leo here. He really should have just left, but I don't know where you'd go at this point.
I look out over the rest of the town, towards the motel and convenience store and all the tiny houses and trailers in between. Not a single person. I actually visited Carl once in a while over the summer. So Carl's still here? Leo nods up towards the mountains, and I see the big mansion glinting gently in the sunset.
Because he's not well, I was gonna okay, that's what I was gonna say. You read that line, Keith.
Yeah. Hey, that's cool. I hear he's doing pretty good at school right now.
I was worried he didn't go to school. Because in our thing we helped him go back to school.
So he did go to school. That's good.
So he still goes to school in this timeline too.
Yeah. And we might have been at school together, maybe?
Well, I think it's still true that we were previously at school together before Carl dropped out. So the fact that he's going back to school makes me happy.
Well, I mean, I'm just doing the math of like, it's been 2 years. And he last time Chase took a year off because of the mess of what he went through and rehabilitation and so on.
Oh, yeah.
But he was gone for 3 years. So he's a senior in college when he gets back. Mm-hmm. So 2 years later, he's out if he doesn't go for a master's. So he probably graduated with a bachelor's degree, and now Carl's on his own.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Good. Are you going back to school or not? I shrug my shoulders, walking up the train tracks to straddle the steel rails. Not in Pueblo, since we're moving up a couple states, but probably eventually. Oh, they're gonna
They're
live
moving together.
This might be the best outcome for Chase in one of these endings.
I know he's
we'll see.
a nice, stable boyfriend
That he probably doesn't even meet in the other timelines at all.
That he wouldn't meet at all. I don't think he meets him in the other timelines. But then also who's like emotionally supportive and is just a stable individual. After all this craziness, he just has a stable thing, and that is nice. People need a stable thing sometimes.
There's a lull in the conversation as we both go quiet. I look around, wondering if this was the spot where we hopped the train. The train that turned out to be an old engine and caboose on its way to Peyton, where it was then transferred to a train museum. A train museum. So since they keep hinting at old stuff, I'm guessing that like the train is from like the smoke room era part of the town. Like it's from the back when the mine was active. And so like somehow a train just kept, like a ghost train kept conjuring across this rail every half an hour or some shit like that. And then once they essentially like broke the loop by writing it to Peyton. And now there's just like a train they got to deal with now. Well, so like, museum?
But it looks like it was planning on, like they had sent it, according to this line here that you're about to read. It seems like they were sending it to a museum.
It had been traveling at a gentle 10 miles per hour to keep from derailing off the old tracks, just slow enough for us to catch. It was the last of 3 engines being transferred that night. All of them were real?
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's weird.
So
that's weirder than my part where they're ghosts.
We went to that train museum together.
It would have to be at least 3 too. Yeah. We were at a train museum and we saw that like the floor of the place actually has rails built into it, and they have a whole like it's the Old Town Sacramento Train Museum. They've got like this like turnstile thing. That's how they like turn the engines right outside the building to then bring them in through like the hangar door and so on. And like every exhibit has tracks leading to it because like the trains just have to physically get there somehow. So they're all still on tracks.
There was a sweet old man. I think all you guys had walked off and looked at other stuff. There's some sweet old man, and me and Andrew talked to him about literally that, about how they got the trains there. And it's basically like this, where it's like they either have to transport them by truck, or if there is a rail line, they just travel them very slowly to as close as they can get, and then they have to find a way to take them off and move them over. And like he was there was a really cute old man who was talking about this whole process to us. But no, it's funny because it's basically this.
That trip was a trip.
Trip was a trip.
That was the great collaborator friend group rendezvous where like it was you, me, Marty, Andrew, Mandy, Griff, and Bird. Like just a fuck ton of people were all on the same trip, going to a zoo and a train museum and an escape room and so on.
I got to meet a lot of nice people in real life.
Yeah. I remember in particular, like Toaster was nervous because none of these people knew he was like, I'm gonna meet all these people for the first time, not understanding how many people in that group were also meeting each other for the first time, like in person. Because like Bird had never met. Yeah, you had never met Bird or Marty, I don't think.
Or Andrew. I hadn't met any of these people.
Met anyone, yeah. It was a first time for everybody, mostly. But I know that Marty and Bird had met before because I straight up said to when Marty was going by Seattle for work, I'm like, you should meet Bird. He's just there. Like, just go.
It's so weird. We live in like I don't I'm not on the internets very much, but it's weird to remember that you can have a whole relationship with an individual and not have actually
ever
met them before. I forget that that's things people do. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not good enough at replying to online things to maintain any kinds of relationships.
Yeah, because you're not on anything. Like, you made it. You had a Discord account for like a week,
well,
and then just kind of like lost track of it immediately and forever.
Well, that's why I was really bad at being on Tinder, because I would forget about these people, and it'd be like 4 weeks, and I'd be like, oh yeah, here's my response. I don't like texting. Do you want to meet up or not? Like, basically like that.
Imagine being offline in 2022. I think it took me like 6 or 7 years to meet Bird in person. Everyone lives across the world. It's whoever's around. Anyway, that was all because of just the bizarreness of the trains.
Yeah, so those were all
actual
trains.
Not only were the trains real, but they also
were historic trains.
All of that. There just happened to be 3 separate historic trains going by, just when they needed to be, and not like.
And we gave them this like intense meaning. Like we're like, oh, it must mean something. We can escape this way, but in reality, they were just like doing a thing for a museum, and it was like a planned event.
That contrivance is so nuts that it's easier for me to accept the ghost idea that I made up than it. like it's an old it's so much easier for me to accept the idea that there was like a weird fucked up ghost train looping because of echo logic, and then we like snapped it out of its loop by interacting with it. Essentially,
it's funny because you were saying that, and I like looked over at the next line, and I was like,
it was just yeah, I was just wrong in real time. Just a few hours later, the emergency services went in and recovered whoever else was left in town, including Leo. I still wondered if we needed to hop the train, but I guess I was escaping more than just the town. I looked back at Leo. Are you okay? Leo looks up from kicking around some rocks. I mean... I scratch my head vigorously, trying to think of how not to say the wrong thing. Have you been doing okay? Are you happy? Leo smiles. Not really, are you? I think back to the past 2 years of nightmares and panic attacks, of breaking down into tears out of nowhere. How just a few hours ago I dropped to the ground in a grocery store in Peyton because someone dropped a jar of jam. But Kudzu had been there, like always, to help me back up. I'm managing. I can't cope with this. It's a process. That's good. Are you managing? Leo chuckles. I'm just living. Are you getting help? Like professional help? Yeah. No. Oh, well, it can really help. I like to do things on my own these days. Leo looks back towards the car, Kudzu barely visible through the windows. People can help. You don't have to do everything on your own. I think it's best if I stay away from people for now. I noticed the anchor bracelet missing from Leo's wrist.
It's funny, it sounds like ankle bracelet, like he's a prisoner.
The ankle bracelet on his wrist because he can't tell which one's which. I looked down at the tracks. Listen, I'm sorry about everything that happened. I wish I could do things over, even before what happened here in Echo. Leo looks at me for a moment, a sad smile on his face. Aw, that's a sad smile.
And sad music to accompany the sad smile.
The last 2 years have been hell for me. I cried myself to sleep every night thinking about you. I feel my face flush with embarrassment and, for some reason, shame. But last month, for the first time, it stopped. I stopped thinking about you every hour.
And then you came to my house and really fucked everything up. That's what I'm saying.
I stopped thinking about what you might be doing, about how he might be treating you, about whether or not you're thinking of me. Yeah, I still think about you sometimes. And when I do, I still cry. But now it hurts less. So, yeah, I am doing better, Chase. Oh, well, that's good. I have no right to feel a little sad, but I do. I'm sorry, Chase, for not protecting you the way I should have, for trying to control you and do all that shady shit behind your back. Whatever the fuck was in this town that made us all go crazy, I realize it twisted up my thinking. But those thoughts were always there. Echo just brought it up to the surface. So, I'm a shitty person, and you made me realize that. And I'm sorry I brought you into it. Just know that I really did love you. Leo looks over my shoulder at the car again. Anyway, you should get back to Kud. He'll take care of you, and I hope you'll take care of him. Okay? My mouth hangs open a little bit, but that snaps me back to reality.
Nope, there goes gravity. Nope.
So mad that he won't
give up that easy. Nope.
Yeah, I'll do that. I start walking back to the car, but Leo doesn't follow me. I pause. Do you want my new number? We can talk.
Bad idea. Okay,
No.
Good boy, Leo. Don't do that.
The surprised look on my face makes Leo laugh. It's a real laugh. It's a real laugh. Kind of sad, kind of happy, but real. That wouldn't be good for either of us. So we're just saying goodbye, forever. That old knife in my heart starts twisting again. Leo shrugs. You never know. I stand there, 10 feet away from my first boyfriend, my first kiss, in this very rail yard. My best friend. But hey, if you drive through Peyton again, I'm always open to have another chat. Maybe you'll catch me in a better place. I will. I say it immediately, and Leo smiles at me. So, I'll see you again someday. I look forward to it. All right. Bye then. Goodbye, Chase. He says best friend, but they interacted for a few days once in 5 years.
Yeah.
There's an element of letting go at some point where hopefully you got more going on.
There's a bit of like a I don't know. There are certain people that I feel like you cannot see for a long time, but there's like a certain sort of really intense connection or camaraderie, you know?
Yeah.
So I mean, I understand that, but Leo just needs to be left alone, and Leo just needs to get a life. And it sounds like Chase is like on his way to getting his life set up. He's moving, and he's got a nice boyfriend, and things will get better for Chase. I don't know if things will get better for Leo, but you can't help Leo. Leo has to do it himself.
I'm way more sad that Chase didn't keep in touch with Carl.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who's to say he didn't?
Well, he said like, oh, I hear he's been doing well in school. I'm like,
oh, you're right.
Doesn't sound great.
Yeah, now he's moving, so it's like never gonna happen now.
Now he's super leaving, yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like there are a lot of people who I've met and known, and I'll probably never see again, you know? Mm-hmm. But there's something just intensely sad about saying it out loud and acknowledging it to each other. Like it's one of the, like the last time I'm talked to like Laurel Shaddix in high school that one time. I don't even remember what the last time I said anything to her was. But I probably never will see that person again in my entire life. It's just one of the thousands of people I've met in my life, you know?
I can't believe there's real life human beings in the modern year. They're named Yanni.
Her name was, oh my gosh. That was a good one. I was like, I didn't say Yanni.
Fucking stupid.
That is... Laurel, if you're out there, hit me up. You were a nice person.
You somehow she got this far without realizing. Oh my god.
That Stephanie?
You're casting a very specific net of like approximately 800 people that are watching this.
I know.
And it's exactly that person.
It would be very funny, you know?
No, it's happened. Was it I don't remember if it was a coworker or an old friend or someone, but somebody that knew Bird found them because of his videos with me. It's like, wow, they're not wide nets. It's really surprising that you'd catch someone with that. But the world's tiny. I walk the rest of the distance to the car and open the passenger door before getting in and sitting down. With the door still open, I look back one last time. Leo stands there, paws still jammed in his pockets, his fur outlined with orange and gold light from the setting sun, highlighting his head fur like a halo. I take it in for a moment, then wave. He waves back. And with that, I close the door. Surprisingly positive ending overall. It's just the bittersweet element of moving past.
And
what
then
had to
they
move
fucking
past.
show us this picture. His little goatee.
Maybe that was Evil Chase all along.
Oh my gosh.
Those are a lot of individual artists. These credits are strange.
Yeah, because they literally include like everybody from all the games.
Or they're just indicating stuff's gonna show up.
That would be a fun surprise.
It's-
Hop, Skip, and the Chew Toys. That is one of the best band names I've ever heard in my whole life.
Do you think they might be furries?
What? Hop Skip is a dog's name?
The Chew Toys?
I know. Hop Skip sounds like a cute little dog's name.
Oh my god. This is There's so much stuff in this game. There's so much unique art and music that's in here somewhere, in addition to like the huge library of free music. Because I think Ad Astra was 100% free music, I think. Which would mean they just found a really nice piano theme, and that was it. Which I will forever. It's weird because you'll forever associate certain things with certain things, certain songs with certain like YouTube shows or games or whatever. But then you hear the same one again, and it like breaks your brain. Like you can't accept this. You're like, no, I have a strong emotional reaction to this being this. You're not allowed to use it now.
Well, I always think about that with the It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia
There's
theme.
a song called Peyton, which is not made for the game.
That's funny. Well, there's one just called Sex.
Yeah.
Do they play it during a sex scene? Is there a sex scene where they play the sex song?
TJ theme.
TJ theme.
Did they just rename it TJ theme? It's actually something else. Oh, the URL probably said its name, but I missed it. Pepper's theme. They should use Tony's theme by the Pixies. Doesn't make any sense, but
Or
I'd be happy.
Cody's theme by AJJ.
That's the only picture they showed. They didn't have anything else to cut through, like, their happy times together. It's just like, hey, remember that second where we thought things might work out for, like, one afternoon?
It's like the last thing that Leo
Anyway.
sees before he closes his eyes and dies when
Look at
he's
how
on his
fucking Chad
deathbed.
mode Carl is in this picture.
No, he's very dad. It's Carl dad right
He's
there.
a little off model. It's a trip to have so many different artists work on the same thing. Because you get these characters filtered through, like,
The
so
one
many
that
styles.
is the weirdest to me is Jenna.
Jenna.
Her face is a lot different.
Yeah.
And then I like how Flynn has a pink mohawk. I think that's actually pretty cute.
Yeah, I wonder if he... Yeah, he doesn't, does he?
No.
Although they, like, I've seen, like... I have legitimately seen, like 7 or 8 different sprites just for Leo. Which came up when I was trying to research who did the current Leo sprite. Because I was trying to get them to do our sprites. And I was like, this is surprisingly complicated. And the weirdest part is that the first artist and the last artist are the same person. So after cycling through like 12 artists, they then went back to the first one again. But they made a way better sprite because it'd been years at that point. But
that's pretty funny.
Yeah, because you just keep improving. But I've seen Leo in so many divergent art styles and so on, and found some really cool artists through that process. But as a result, yeah, like you think about that whole time they're making this game and they're writing it, releasing it chapter by chapter, and like these individual CGs are made, and you're like, if they do or don't match the art style now, just think about how much they did or didn't match the art style when it was like everyone had a different sprite 3 years ago or something. Like this game had a hell of a development. It's convoluted as shit. I'm highlighting the lake again. Are there short stories in here? They should have. Why didn't they show that happy memory with Leo?
Which one with the fight one?
Yeah. Remember Leo? Happy Leo. Date? Are these the short stories?
What?
Oh, I think this is the short stories. I need to investigate what order to play these in and when. There's like...
They're short, like...
There are even more stories in addition to the routes.
Oh my gosh.
And my route suggestion order does not say when I should do them. But there might be I think there might be an epilogue for each character and so on, or that might be a prequel or sequel or something. I'll have to ask people. But anyway...
Yeah, consult the experts.
This episode's just kind of trailing off. See you guys later.
Adios.
Okay, we're back, and I was told when I asked that the short stories are 10,000% intended for after you've completed the entire game, because they will spoil everything.
Okay, good to know.
So
I'm glad you asked.
So we're not doing those until we do all the other routes. But before we start Jenna's route, we have 2 bad endings to get that we haven't gotten yet. Because we so expertly and correctly knew exactly what we needed to do to survive these situations.
Well, we're just so good at dealing with people.
Because at first it was like, oh no, did we do the good ending or not? But then we were with Kudzu, and it was like, well, obviously this is the good ending.
Obviously.
Goodbye, Leo.
In the trash. Just kidding. I still feel bad for him.
I do feel, I mean, I feel bad for him the moment the game starts, but also like...
He's pathetic, dude.
Yeah, no, he's a sad character the whole time.
He's a sad boy.
Also, he's drawing guns on people that haven't done anything to him. We'll work something out. Yeah, sure. I promise. When we get on that train, we'll figure everything out, okay? Leo watches me carefully, looking unsure. Kudzu is next to me in that moment, though. And he pulls me back towards the group.
Come on, we're going now.
Leo's eyes flash as he watches, his teeth showing. I don't have time to try and console him anymore because the train starts pulling up. Run! Flynn shoves Carl forward and the ram takes off a little bit too, and he's look at him go. I look back, and then Flynn, and then Prescott Railway. We don't have that many chances. Kudzu.
So what I'm wondering if Leo gets on the train. I also wonder if Leo sabotages Kudzu getting on the train, which is something I'm kind of worried about.
Yeah. Jenna, TJ, hesitates, and then they get TJ on.
Okay, we
now that I'm next to it, I can see how terrifying this is. The wheels clack loudly in my ears, and I have no idea how I'm going to lift one leg up while keeping up this speed. But I get a grasp on Flynn's hand, and see Kudzu's paw reaching out as well. The train's going way too fast now, and I know I'll only have one chance at this. I pull down on their hands, and lift my feet up to land on the last step. Once my feet make contact, relief floods through me. I can't help myself as I grin and take my first step up. Then I hear the sound of stomping footsteps behind me. I look back and see Leo running right next to me, snarling with every breath. I start to move quickly, wanting to be out of the way for Leo's turn, but that's when I see him already reaching out. For me. His anchor bracelet glints in the moonlight. I don't have time to think as the wolf grabs the back of my shirt and pulls hard. I hear threads pop in my collar as I'm choked. I lose my grip on Flynn and Kudzu. As I fall, I reach out and grab onto a railing on the platform. In doing so, my legs swing under the train, and I lose my grip. I hit the ground hard and roll several times before something catches my legs. I'm pulled violently with the train, and an unbelievable pressure squeezes me, like my calves are caught in a vice. Suddenly, the train lets me go, and I come to an abrupt, sliding stop in the gravel. I lay there, stunned, feeling nothing. And then an almighty throb goes through my legs. I gasp and push myself up, and see my feet missing.
Oh gosh.
I stare as my legs seem to end where the ends of my pants do. A dark, dark stain pools out on the ground around them. I can't think. I don't know what to think.
Chase!
I look up and see Kudzu. Just Kudzu, limping towards me. No, he jumped off.
No.
Oh, I feel like Leo's gonna kill him.
Oh no.
I wonder if he's missing a foot too, but no, just limping on it. As he approaches, I point at my missing feet, like maybe he'll have the answer to what just happened.
Fuck!
Immediately, the raccoon drops down beside me, reaching for his waist. He's undoing his belt, and I'm about to tell him now's not the time for that kind of stuff. Jeez.
Oh gosh, Chase, no.
He is in shock.
Now is definitely not the time for that kind of joke.
But then he starts pulling the belt around one of my calves. That's when he lifts the pant leg and I get a glimpse of the ragged flesh and fur, blood, and the white of bone.
Leo, you fucking dumbass. Give me your other belt.
I hear footsteps behind me.
Take it off. No, oh no.
Kudzu slumps down over my legs, and I wonder if he's trying to stop the bleeding with his body. A familiar dark puddle starts to form around his head and face. Shit. I reach out and press a paw to his head, wishing I wore a belt so I could put it around his neck. Oh, no. No. Leo mumbles in my ear, pushing Kudzu off roughly as he looks at my legs. We're gonna get you fixed. I didn't mean for this to happen, but we'll figure something out. The wolf slides his arms around me and picks me up, and the world tilts. Leo flashes me a grin from across the table as my mom turns away to get drinks from the fridge. This is going way better than I thought it would. My dad asks Leo what he's doing for a living, and the wolf tells him he's already got a high-paying job at the auto repair shop. At the same time, he's playing footsies with me under the table.
Oh, which is not a possibility anymore.
Just flashback to him introducing his boyfriend to his parents, which was what was about to happen at the end of Route 65.
Yeah.
My legs are throbbing regularly now, not even really hurting. I squint against the bright light of the bathroom as Leo flips it on.
Oh, he just took you to his bathroom. He's not even taking you to a hospital. I mean, granted, I don't know how the hospitals would be right now.
I don't know if anyone can get to a hospital, and his car's fucked.
No, that's true. That's true.
He turns to the bathtub, and I see a bright streak of red on the wall after he does. Then he lays me down in the tub and starts to wrap stuff around my legs. It does start to hurt then, and I groan. Shh, don't worry. It's fine. This is gonna fix you up completely. The end of the bathtub's completely red. I lay my head on Leo's chest as he taps away text on his phone. I love days like this, where we have the whole afternoon free and we choose to do nothing. It's peaceful and quiet. I love the way the late afternoon sun pours through the window and warms my fur while at the same time being cooled by the fan. I realize then that I want to spend the rest of my life with this wolf. Leo nuzzles my neck and head fur, mumbling in my ear, but I can't really understand him. I look down to see that my pants are off and I'm just in my boxers. The ends of my legs are wrapped in red bandages, completely soaked through, soaking into the bed I'm laying in. I start to reach towards them, but my hand is shaking so hard, and Leo grabs it and pulls it back to my chest. I'm really cold. In response, Leo draws closer and spoons me. Early morning light is pouring through the window, and I think I hear sirens. Leo nuzzles my ear again, and I try to pull away, but he holds me tight. Like you said, we're gonna work something out. I knew it would be easier to do that here, in Echo, where we started. Seeing you leave on that train was too much. Something leers at me from the corner of the room. Leo gazes at me with pure, unconditional love as he pulls back from our kiss. My first kiss. My excitement comes out in a burst of giggles as I hug my wolf to my body, feeling his soft warmth against me. The wolf hugs back, and we stay like that for a long time. I don't even mind that it's in this run-down train yard in the middle of the hot desert. I'm in love with him. He holds me tight. The throbbing in my legs has stopped. I'm not cold anymore either, just empty. That creature stares at me from the corner, red and grotesque. I stare back as my vision slowly fades. I don't feel anything anymore. You're just sitting there hugging us as we die, just bleeding in his bed. Well, that's a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, that's definitely not the good ending.
No. Oh my god, look at the picture.
Oh, spooky. That's
just creepy, dark Leo picture.
I am really glad we went back and experienced that because I really enjoyed it.
What a nightmare.
I think there's something like immensely scary about situations like this where somebody has like good intentions, but they don't know what they're doing. It's almost like it's like a child smothering a cat to death on accident.
Yeah.
Or like some strange thing like that. Or it's like those it's like people that don't take their kids to the doctor when they're sick. It's like some weird like those people, like the irrational aspect of that is what makes it scary. So him thinking that it was a good idea to pull you off the train and thinking that you guys would still be okay and together and you'd work something out after he made you lose your feet and that you were going to live through that. Like like his delusion is the scariest part of that ending to me.
It's
and him not noticing the selfishness of the entire situation.
Yeah, well, it's the exaggerated version of the delusion that he had the whole game. I think that's the same image where he's trying to console or convince. He's trying to talk to Chase like at the beginning of the game. That's like I think it's the same picture.
Yeah.
But it's just unnerving when it's just dark. Just like barely visible.
I don't like that it's been getting brighter. I want Leo to go away.
There's only more Leo.
I wonder what he does after he wakes up and he realizes that you died in his bed, bleeding out. And I think it's funny that you say, "Oh, that you're cold," and he just decides to spoon you harder, which you're obviously cold because you're dying.
Yeah. No, he was completely not processing correctly what was happening. He's in denial.
I can't imagine being in the situation where you accidentally hurt someone you care about that much. A long time ago, I was dating someone and we were being stupid and he was pushing me around in a Target shopping cart in the parking lot of our local mall. Mm-hmm. And he was going too fast. I told him to stop, but then he did like a spin and he knocked me out of the shopping cart and I fell out and I cracked my head on the concrete and I bled everywhere.
Jesus Christ.
I actually, like, I had to stay up because I was going to get a concussion. It's like one of those things where I was like, don't go to sleep. But he was so upset by that story that, like, if he wouldn't let me bring it up because he felt so bad about it, that he's like, don't ever talk about that. Don't ever talk about that. I couldn't imagine making somebody lose their fucking feet. You know what I mean? That's the amount of guilt I'd feel about that. I'd have to, like, Kiri or something. I don't even know what I would do.
I mean, yeah, long term, that version of Leo's way more fucked up, like 2 years from now. But at the moment, he's in echo mode where he just isn't processing what's happening correctly. And he thinks he's getting what he wanted.
But the thing is I feel like the echo thing it's not even Leo's biggest problem. Leo's biggest problem is that he always had that delusion. It wasn't even as if, like, this was entirely spurred by the echo event or anything.
Yeah, but it's just the extreme of that scene.
I think, and it's funny because we just brought up Misery. We're just talking about Misery. That reminded me a lot of that. Where it's like, oh, you're sick. I'll take care of you. I'll keep you here. I'll take care of you. Like, don't worry, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Like, we'll be together forever, right? Like, you can't leave now. Haha, you know?
Yeah.
It's just I almost feel like if you had lived, he would just take such glee in helping you out with everything now that you have no feet. He'd keep you like a pet in his house.
Now you'll never leave me.
Can't run if you got no feet.
That's more or less in that territory. Ain't nobody wears shoes in these universe. Well, let's see if I can find Carl now.